Coming up next, I'm going to let you in on one of my daily fragrance routines that gets my day started in the right way. And my cat is rubbing on my camera. It gets my day started every day, I gotta say, in a happy, joyful, fun way. And it's scientific, and I'm gonna tell you where I learned it and what I do and what I think might better help you guys just, get your day started in a wonderful way using fragrance. Find out what this little, well, it's not a trick, it's a scientific tip coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to Joel the Nose, and please excuse my congestion. I may even have to take a break for a second because I got a bad cold. But I wanted to get a video out today because I've been thinking about this video for a couple weeks now, and I really wanted to release it. So it's gonna be a quick one. This is my daily fragrance routine. Okay, every morning after I take a shower, sometimes before, but whenever I have about just even a couple minutes. All I need is a couple minutes, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, maybe sometimes even less. I go over to my wall over here and I pick out usually a couple fragrances that have some significant meaning for me. You've heard me talk about this before in the past when I've talked about what's called odor associative learning behavior and another term which is called, and I don't want to make olfactory emotion translation. These are scientific principles and theories that have been studied by Dr. Rachel Hertz, who's one of the leading scientific doctors in the field of of fragrance over the last 20 years and studying its link to emotion and memory. And again, a lot of you know, and for those of you who don't, of the five senses, the sense of smell is the only one that's processed in the same region as memory and emotion, the amygdala and the limbic system. So this goes back to when we were basically, amoeba or whatever, however you want to look at it. This is something that has been there all along, this direct link between the the sense of smell, olfactory system in the brain with the amygdala, memory, emotion. So she's done a lot of studies. This book, by the way, if you haven't read it, this is called The Scent of Desire. I highly recommend it for those of you who are looking to just learn more about scent and smell and why it means so much in our lives. For me, it's been invaluable. But this is what I do. Because one of her theories is that we attach, especially very early on when we're younger, certain smells to either good or bad experiences. And that smell, by the way, is not a natural. You don't naturally like or dislike a smell. For example, skunk is not something that actually is just something everyone generally dislikes. She talked about it in the book. She had very pleasant experiences when she was really young, camping with her family, and the scent of skunk that her mom liked out in the wide open in nature. And so that is a pleasant smell for her. So this is something that's called odor associative learning behavior. Basically, we learn to like smells. A lot of it is premised on the initial experience we had when we were young. So what does that mean for an everyday use of fragrance to help your daily routine? This is what I do. And again, excuse me. Let me just take a break here for a second so I can take care of my cold. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So this is what I do. Just to give you an example, I've got with me two perfumes here, two fragrances. Both actually, these are cheapies. I got both these. I got this at the drugstore, I think CVS, and this is Ane from, of course, that's from Chanel. This is a legendary fragrance from the 80s, late 70s, all through the 80s, was a women's fragrance. And Brooks Brothers, New York. This one came out probably in the last 15, 20 years, but it's a designer fragrance that I also picked up at like TJ Maxx for I think 15 bucks. This is an eau de toilette. Why do I have these two fragrances and what do I do with them? I'll give you an example. Every morning, again, usually after I shower, I'm getting ready to get dressed. Sometimes, right, you're not in the best mood. You're like, I gotta go to work, or maybe you had a bad day, or you don't feel great, or you didn't sleep well. Smell and odors have an ability to take us to a good place or a bad place. You may smell a fragrance, again, that reminds you of something that is very negative in your past. Obviously, I don't recommend doing that. What I do is, I'll give you an example. I'll take this bottle of Anais, which reminds me of high school. It reminds me of 15, 16 years old, a very fun, great, innocent time in my life back before, right? We didn't really have a ton of cares in the world. Our parents took care of us. And the first girl that I ever had a crush on wore a Anais. She got it from her mom. Her mom, they were one of the wealthier families. They wore a lot of nice things. And I would go to her house, and at school, she would wear a Anais. So what I do is I just spray it on a scent strip. You can just put it on your skin or anything. And this just transports me back. It just brings good memories. It brings good memories of my friendship with this girl. It brings me good memories of kind of that first love and discovering yourself and discovering, your feelings for somebody else. It reminds me of, again, being 15, 16-year-old in high school. This is a positive, positive memory. So this lifts my spirits every morning. Now, maybe all you need to do is do this with one fragrance. I like to typically do it with one or two, but again, that's up to you. I'd say play around with it, see what happens, see if it works for you. And, see if this does put you in a good spirit. And by the way, you can do this at different parts of the day. Let's say you're having a bad day, or you come home from work and it's been a long day, or it's the weekend and you had a fight and you just want to return to a good, calm spirit. Try this also, okay? I just happen to do this at the beginning of the day because it gets me going in a good spirit. And this is the other fragrance that I typically will go to. Brooks Brothers of New York, not a fancy fragrance. Again, neither of these are. They're both 15 bucks or less. What I like about this, though, it reminds me of my dad. This reminds me of classic men's citrusy, barbershop, light, crisp, with a suit fragrance. It reminds me of my dad. It reminds me of kind of the late 70s, early 80s, when my dad would get dressed every day. He worked in the insurance field, and he would wear a suit every day, and he'd come home every day with a suit, and I could just smell this on him, this type of fragrance. It wasn't this exact fragrance, but this reminds me, this puts me in a good spirit. Unfortunately, my dad is no longer with me. He passed away, we're going on 13 years ago now, and so these things mean a lot to me. When I can smell something that reminds me of good times with my dad when he was healthy and young and vibrant, and I was a little kid and I looked up to him, and it's just such a wonderful memory. So already just doing this video has put me in a better spirit, because as I told you, I'm sick right now. I've actually got a really bad cold. I've been sneezing, congested, a little bit of a fever, all that. Don't worry, it's not COVID. I already tested for that. But I'm already in a better mood. I've already got a little bit more energy now, and I've already got a better feeling just from smelling these two fragrances. So try it out. Again, just a little tip that is based in science. This is not just some feel-good thing. This is based in science. Fragrances, find the ones in your collection that remind you of a positive memory from many years ago. Smell it in the morning. Smell it when you're sad. Let me know. Try it, guys. This is kind of my challenge to you. Try this and let me know if it works for you, and let me know how it functions in your daily life. I hope this is useful. I try to give you useful stuff other than just the typical fragrance review. I want to bring science and bring everything that will make your enjoyment of fragrance even better. I'll be back soon with another video. Peace, love, and perfume.